Yeah, it is. Right there. Back in the studios in Charleston, West Virginia, coming to you live on 580 Live. And, folks, we're glad you're there, and we're glad you're safe. And we hope that my good friend from high school, Vicki Thomas, is safe. Vicki, good morning.
Good morning, Danny.
How are you doing? From Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? That's where you are?
Yes.
And you're sitting in your car because?
Because, well, of course, we don't have any power, and it's projected to be off for the next couple of weeks. And number one, I wanted to get the charge for my phone. And number two, it's very still hot down here. And so it's nice to get the air conditioning in the car.
Look, as you look out the windows, you live in a condominium?
Yes.
Are you up a few floors?
Well, I'm on the second floor, but I'm sitting in my car. I'm looking at the neighborhood, and the streets are totally impassable. Trees. I live in a complex that's on a golf course, so there's a lot of trees and vegetation, and it's just all over the streets. The streets are impassable, and you couldn't get anywhere if you needed to.
When I was texting you, you told me that you were watching. You had been watching mayors on CNN, and you watched the mayor of Key West break down, and I'm so glad you thought of me. I did because they were on call. It looked like 24 hours a day. They were so distraught over, everything going on, and it's a 24-hour-a-day thing to get everybody situated, evacuated in shelters and where they needed to be, and it was just a huge thing to go through. And I hope they're all getting some sleep now. Well, and Vicki, I'm on with Vicki Thomas, who's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and she's in her car so she can talk to us on the phone, so her phone can be plugged in, so she has power to her phone, because she's stuck up in her condo with no air conditioning, and it's hot, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Unbearable.
Hot and humid.
And when I was talking to you, the winds, when I was texting you yesterday and I was out west, I was texting you, and you were actually in the bathroom because of the winds hitting the windows?
Yes, we were told to get away from the windows because even though we all do have hurricane-strength windows at this point, with the strength of the winds of this particular hurricane, there were limbs and trees and things just flying through the air and hitting the windows. It was so frightening, and it sounded like a freight train just going through, and it just went on for hours.
So the water,
frightening.
Is the water on the street, is it up, or is it drained? I mean, what does that look like?
Well, where I am, there are just a lot, like the golf course I live on, it looks like there's a little lake in the middle of it. And, the streets have a lot of extra water, but I'm not sure what's going on over, people that live along the intercoastal and those areas, if that went over and flooded them or not. I'm not sure at this point.
If you were to... could you walk anywhere and find an air-conditioned building, like a shelter or anything like that?
No. Power is off everywhere. I think there are millions of people impacted, and we do get texts from Florida Power and Light saying that this could be a multi-week event of no power.
Okay, Vicki, so I'm just trying to figure this out. Do you have C rations? I mean, how are you, I mean, in the military we had C rations, and how are you going to eat? What, you got food?
Well, this is something that we go through in Florida a lot. I did go through Hurricane Wilma, where there were 2 weeks with no power, and the local grocery stores do start to run on generators, and you go in and it's dark in the stores, and you take your flashlight and you shop, and they do have the cash registers set up and run on generators, and you do, you start to live on Pringles and and I was heroically ate most of the ice cream in the freezer so it wouldn't melt. So,
Vicki, if you don't mind me saying so, you were a spokesman for a weight loss company, right?
Yes.
I mean, are you still working?
Yes.
You haven't retired yet?
No.
And same company?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I can't imagine you being stuck there. So you're thinking weeks you're stuck in this apartment?
Well, actually, you at a certain point you can get out and get around. It's just that the stores that you would go to are the ones that have generators, and slowly little pockets of the city, the power comes back. I think they look at it in priorities. Of course, hospitals will come back first, and people in assisted living and that kind of thing. And then they look at the largely populated areas and go to them next. But they do prioritize, and I understand they have people that came in from all over the country to help out with this as well. So they should be well staffed.
Okay, so I've got a hidden agenda here because you have a lot of friends up here, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get you up here. But it's too late for that. It's too late for that, right?
Yeah, I think the airports, when they close down the airports, that's really serious. And the airports tend to close a day before so they can get all the airplanes out of the way, get the jetways all pinned up and everything. And then I think they said the airports may open tomorrow. But, things are booked. People trying to get away and people trying to get back.
So here's the plan.
Airport to zoo.
Here's the plan. Go to Amtrak and get on the Meteor, and I'll drive over to Manassas and get you. And you can come over here to West Virginia. We'd love to have you. I feel so bad. I'm so glad you started texting me because, and then I was on my way. I just couldn't get you out of my mind. And I was so concerned. And I'm so glad that you sound good and you're healthy and in good spirits.
Well, you feel much better today than I did yesterday. It was very frightening yesterday. It really was. Like I said, I've been down here since 1980. So, I've been through a lot of hurricanes, but this one was the most vicious. And I think, economically it'll take a toll like we've never seen before either. So,
are you talking to people? Are you seeing other people in the building? Are there other folks there?
Yeah, as I'm sitting in my car, I'm waving at neighbors walking by. Finally the sun is coming out and people, they want to get out and take a look at what's going on, and everybody's saying, where can we get coffee?
Yeah, I guess you couldn't even get coffee, could you? Because you can't heat anything up.
No, you do start to learn ahead of time. They have them in the bottles of coffee, and you start to learn to live on that, which...
I get some Sterno and some sea rations. So,
but like I said, the next time, I really think the next time when there's a hint it's coming out, I'll be up to West Virginia to hide out.
Come up here and we'll, I hope I get to see you, and I hope you're okay, Vicki. And this interview, I'm going to post it, and a lot of your friends are going to hear it. A lot of friends, I still have people that that listen to this show. And because I'm talking to Vicki Thomas from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I went to high school with Vicki, and she's been a friend of mine for the best part of my life. And so I hope you're well, and keep texting, keep me posted on how you're doing, okay?
Oh, I absolutely will. Oh, just so you know, I actually heard one of our friends is in Japan and was texting me during all of this because she said it was really big on the news over there. So. Yeah,
our redheaded friend. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Vicki, Take care of yourself. Keep me posted, okay?
Oh, I will, Danny. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, that was Vicki Thomas from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.